Hello there, today is day 12 of working on a currently untitled project. So let's hop right in. So today I refactored the enemy prototype and the treasure tank to use the finite state machine system that I got from the asset store the other week. So it's mostly just taking this code and moving it over here, making it more state machine-y, like an actual state machine rather than a file state machine with switch statements for states. So no visible change on that, but progress forward, and hopefully future enemies will be done with that. And it does help with extensive, actually putting in new features. Speaking of, I added a short delay before the treasure tank's charge, which I like it aesthetically, but the game is so fast that, or it's looking like it's going to be faster, so I'm not sure it will necessarily fit I'm not necessarily sure it'll fit the pace of the game, because the player can right now just, ring around the rosy these guys, and they'll never charge as a result. So some work to do to make sure that they actually, function as enemies properly rather than just sort of being there. I'm also considering reworking how the frontal shield works on the treasure tanks. Actually, I can briefly show this off again if I again. Right now, they're kinematic rigid bodies that are, parented to non-kinematic rigid bodies. So, like, if I bump into that shield, nothing happens. But if I bump into, well, that wasn't very effective. If I bump into the size of the treasure tank, I can push it around a non-trivial amount. But, and like if you take the railgun and shoot the front of the shield, nothing happens. If you shoot the sides, you get that nice kickback. I kind of like that. It's just a matter of, oh, interesting. They should be checking for sight, and they're not. That is a bug. They appear to be able to see through walls. I must have messed up something with my implementation of the state machine. Anyways, so I kind of like that, they don't get kicked back if you shoot them in the shield, and they only get kicked back if you shoot them in a vulnerable area. But the shield itself is kind of problematic in general. It'll push you, but it doesn't actually impart any force to you. It's weird. You have the same problem with the buds, where that should have some impact, like something should happen. But because the bud shells are kinematic, nothing happens. So I'm looking to rework some of that, and I found that you can get the contact points and get collision resolution information, which that should be useful. I'll figure out what to do with it when I get there. Yeah, that's all the core stuff, and that was still pretty rambly. Yeah, so if you want to listen to me ramble a bit more, feel free to stick around. Otherwise, feel free to head on out. So, today was a slow day. I find I tend to have these lulls after I do a playtest where I don't know what to do next exactly. I'm kind of waiting on feedback. I'm figuring out, like I just hit my objective, so what's the next objective? I'm still figuring that out. So I putzed around a bit and, did some cleanup stuff like that, like the refactoring there. I watched a friend playtest for the first time and took a number of notes. I also made slight modifications to the playtest based on them playing it, and thinking about the playtest survey late at night. It's a bad practice to change that stuff after putting it out, but I'm going to get better at that, hopefully, as time goes on. I also looked at places where I could try and find more playtesters online, and I set up an itch.io page for the game and made a Discord server for later. So some small progress on those fronts. It's a lot of background work. Had some more chats about the game with another friend, and there's a chance someone else will come on board. But that would be next year at some point. So in a month here or so, I might know a bit more about that. But yeah, that's all to be discussed. Anyways, I think that's everything. So short day today. Tomorrow's going to be another short day because I'm playing the Hollows with friends again. So I'm going to have another 6 hours or so taken up by that, and still have other stuff I need to take care of during the day. So yeah, I'll probably do some UI work then. Anyways, if you have any comments, questions, ideas, or anything else on your mind, leave a comment below. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care.